What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this 2022 Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing. Big shout out and thank you to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this performance sedan for today's video. Check out the link to their website linked below. And the model that we're looking at today is finished off in blaze orange metallic and has a starting MSRP around $76,000. Underneath the hood of the 2022 CT4-V Blackwing, you're going to find a 3.6 liter twin turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. It pumps out 472 horsepower with 445 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, sending all the power to the rear wheels. Has a curb weight around 3,900 pounds, can do 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, topping out at 189 miles per hour. And running on a 17-gallon fuel tank, you're looking at 15 miles per gallon in the city with 23 out on the highway. Overall length is 187.6 inches with wheelbase at 109.3. Height is 56 with width at 71.4 inches. The V Blackwing also features a set of 2-piece rotors up front with 6-piston Brembo brake calipers, and then you get ventilated discs in back with 4-piston calipers, and this features a magnetic ride suspension. And then now moving on to the exterior styling with the CT4-V Blackwing. Super razor sharp styling with a really cool design, especially in the orange. We get a massive set of LED headlights with this huge DRL spanning from the front fender all the way through the bumper. You can also see all the black within the housing. You get a lot of sharp body lines all throughout this body colored portion of the bumper, and there's even a functional inlet over on this left side to allow cooling to the radiators. We have gloss black trim as well as a parking sensor, then some gloss black trim down below for the splitter. We get a massive front grille with huge openings to allow even more cooling, and I love how the mesh itself even matches the Cadillac badge. We have some parking sensors through the center. We get the massive Cadillac logo up top with more of the mesh and huge openings to allow cooling to the engine. And I just really love how everything comes together up front. You can see how the hood has really sharp body lines spanning all the way towards the windshield and really give it a performance looking design. As you make our way to the side profile, we get a set of 18-inch wheels in all 4 corners with a metallic gray finish and a multi-spoke design. We have one of the reflectors in the side, a sharp line around this front fender, then you can see a nice trim piece behind the wheel. We get the V badge behind that with a really sharp body line in the lower portion of the doors, as well as a side skirt that matches the front. And then we get body colored door handles, a really sharp body line cutting through the entire side profile, and then more body color on the mirror cap with an integrated LED turn signal. You can see the roof is all body colored with a sunroof up top, shark fin antenna in back, and you can see all the gloss black trim around these windows. As you make our way to the entire side profile, I love how proportional the CT4 in general is. Really good layout. It's a good mid-size sedan, not too big, not too small, so it has really good proportions. And then you can see those sharp lines cutting through the entire side, fading right into these massive LED taillights. They kind of match what you saw up front, have a really good look. We get the V badge on the far right with Cadillac in the center, as well as the standard backup camera, and then a really large duckbill spoiler. Finished off in that same black material. I love all the fluid lines back here. We have all of your parking sensors, and then a massive diffuser finished off in that same dark color, and then a quad dual exhaust system. Really good the way everything is laid out. I think Cadillac nailed it on the design with the CT4-V Blackwing. So there's a good look at the exterior with the CT4-V Blackwing. I'm a big fan of these cars. We had one for a week, took it on a mountain trip and everything, and this truly is a solid car. The orange color really pops, really stands out. We have Cadillac's key fob. You get the V badge on one side. You do get remote start, locking it, and then double tapping on the button. Not too bad. In the basic mode, of course, we'll get a better sound clip. And going ahead and then shutting that off, keeping the key fob in my pocket. All I have to do is grab the door handle and press the button, and we can check out this interior. This particular Spec gets a black leather interior with white piping, carbon fiber, and some aluminum accents. If we take a look at the door panel now, finished off in black, you can see the contrast stitching up top, your aluminum release handle, all your memory seats, lock and unlock, and then all the controls for the windows and mirror. We get some black Alcantara with more stitching, some good padding, and a nice grab handle. Then we have storage down below with the trunk release. You get the V badge on this aluminum door sill and a Cadillac logo on the floor mats. And then all the power controls are on the left side of the seat. You can see these really nice black leather bucket seats, and I just love how large the bolsters are, the diamond pattern. You even get a leg rest, and that stitching design comes all the way up these backrests. I love the way these are laid out. Single piece backs with the V logo, more stitching and piping, and just a fantastic looking seat. We get a black leather steering wheel with carbon fiber and aluminum, and then some stitching. And then now inside the CT4-V Blackwing, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster now, this is a full LCD display that is configurable based on the drive mode. Right now you can see your speed as well as the gas over on the right with tach down on the left. We have some information on the left side of the screen as well as on the right side, and then you can control that with these right buttons over on the steering wheel. So right now I can scroll left and right, see phone integration, different maintenance information within the car, along with all sorts of different options you can adjust. And you can go continuing to the left to see audio control, driver's assistance, all of your performance, different trip information, as well as more information that you can adjust. If I want to go ahead and change drive modes, we have a toggle right here, along with the one down on the center console. But if I just toggle the one on the steering wheel, you'll see it come up right now with your performance traction. So you can adjust all of your different traction control modes, which is a really good way to adjust everything in the car. If I go ahead and turn that off and then use the drive mode select down below that, I can toggle up and down and we can go into the actual drive modes. So going down into tour mode is what we're in right now. Into sport mode, you're gonna see the gauge cluster change. It's gonna get a little bit more performance focused, a nice large tach, a few more vitals on the far left side. Then if I continue down into track mode, we get the really cool looking gauge cluster, massive gear indicator and tach, and then performance indication stuff on the left and the right. So I really like the way everything is laid out. And then you can go back into the tour mode. We have a nice Cadillac logo right in the center with the carbon fiber. And we have some information right here with basically the spec. We have some icons on the left for the distance pacing as well as a heated steering wheel and cruise control. You have some voice commands as well, volume on the right side. Then you get a set of steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. They are aluminum, have a pretty good look and feel, and they're a few inches back here. On the right stock, we get all of the windshield wipers, and then on the left, we get your headlight controls. And then to the left of all that, we have an SD card slot for the performance data recorder, electronic parking brake, as well as heads-up display, and then one of the air vents, and some black leather material going across the dashboard. You can see some of the stitching on it, has a pretty cool look. A small silver trim piece as well. And then moving to the center infotainment screen, this is pretty much what you would expect on any GM car. Pretty simple the way everything is laid out. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You have shortcuts down below that as well. You can go into your climate, adjust everything with physical controls like that. Underneath that, we have some of the air vents, and then physical climate controls down here with toggle switches for all of your fan speed, as well as your temperature you can easily adjust. It comes up on the screen as well. Then we have your zones, on off button, a few more over on the right for defrost, heated and ventilated seats. You have parking sensors you can turn on and off, and then a few more controls. We do get wireless phone charging with a little bit of storage, and then more of this leather material and carbon fiber throughout the center. If I go ahead and put the car into reverse, you can see your backup camera come up with your guidelines on it as well, and then just tapping the P button, we'll go back into park. We have your volume down below that with some more audio controls and shortcuts for the screen. I can just hit one of the buttons on it and easily adjust how everything is gonna go. So we have that rotary dial in the center. We also have more controls for the auto hold and traction control, 2 cup holders, and then a nice storage cubby down below. And then if I just press this button, we can open this up and we get a pretty good amount of storage space all in the center. And then taking a look at the glove box, a pretty large bucket as you would expect. And then one last look at the interior. Really nice and sporty in here. I think Cadillac did a great job just giving you a really sporty car. We also get a black Alcantara headliner, sunshade for the roof. Then you have all the controls up top with your dome lights and a nice frameless mirror. And then the last cool thing to take a look at is that heads-up display. You can see the basic setting right now, but if I go into the V mode, you get that really large tach going across your heads-up display. And then moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, the door panel's finished off just like we saw up front with that same Alcantara and leather material. And then you get all the same stitching back here with the diamond pattern. Really cool looking back seats that can accommodate 3. You get Alcantara on the backs of these front seats, along with 2 climate control vents right in the center. And then you can grab this center seat, pull it down, and we do get 2 cup holders and an armrest. So then sitting in the back seat of the CT4-V now, so I'm 5'11". I've been in the back of these for about an hour when we had ours for the week. It's decent, it's not the best. I'd say an hour max for someone my height. The headroom is kind of there. My head just barely touches the ceiling, but you can definitely tell you're in kind of a cramped back seat. The CT5 is a much more capable rear seat car. My knees are kind of touching the seat. My feet room, don't really have much foot room, I would say, with the seat set at my height. Armrest is decent, not much glass back here. So it's okay, you know, you're kind of lucky to have the back seat space in this kind of car. Not the best for grown-ups, maybe okay for kids, but at least you have them in a pinch when needed. And then moving to the trunk space, if I double tap the button on the key fob, it'll unlock a little bit, and then we can just grab it and manually open it. We do have a button back here as well, and then a pretty good amount of storage space. You can see just how large it is. You have a pretty low load floor, a cubby on the right, and then a little bit of storage on the left side. And then after manually folding down the rear seats, we can see how much more space we get. They fold down nearly flat. You do get a pretty large opening into the back, and you still have some room up in front of these seats. All right, so we are setting off now in the CT4-V Blackwing. Pretty good get up and go. This is a really tossable car. It is fun to drive. 10 speed is pretty good, pretty snappy response to it. And right now, I don't know if you can hear it. There's thunder behind with that exhaust. It sounds really good. We're in V mode, everything. Pops between the shifts and everything. It is a really tight car, especially in the race mode, everything right now. It is super tight. The handling, I mean, everything I do to this car, it just does exactly what I want to do. I love how responsive these are. The steering is so direct, throttle response is great. While it's not the fastest car out there, the CT5-V is definitely a step up. I mean, this thing is very well balanced to where you can just go around a turn, get out of a turn, and it just really does what you want. I love that aspect with the car. It's just really well rounded. Some normal things, if I go ahead and tone the car down, my one drawback, now the drive mode does traction control. So you kind of have to turn traction control into the inactive mode to actually make an adjustment to your drive mode. That is one aspect that is kind of annoying. So now I gotta go to inactive, let it do its thing. And once that stops, then I can go to the drive mode and control this and go back into tour mode and relax a little bit. One drawback with the car. Other than that though, now that we're in tour mode, I can go on cruise control, and it is just a comfortable, nice to drive Cadillac. It still is, you can tell, a pretty stiff chassis comparing it to like maybe a basic CT4. The seats, they are definitely pretty rigid, but they are so comfortable with all the controls, that leg rest and everything. It is a really nice place to be, and honestly, I could see totally buying one of these. It's a really, really nice car. Great visibility out of the windshield, all the mirrors do a great job, and even looking over your left and right shoulder, there's really no blind spots. Like, this is literally just a normal, easy car to drive. All the luxuries, all the refinements, and you get that Cadillac aspect. You know, you're buying a car like this, you want that Cadillac in it. But I love how you can go from this luxury, comfortable car, and then you press one button from right now. All I have to do is press that V button. We're in everything. And now we're in a performance car that is an absolute blast. I genuinely really like these. The rear wheel drive delivers the power well. It is genuinely one of the best sedans out there. It is hands down a heck of a blast to have the performance and then the Cadillac. It is so good. So my perspective now with this car, it really is just a fun car. I love how on this back row now and all the V settings, it is a pinpointy sports car. You can buy this car and literally just rip it, have a blast, and be in something that is a really top-notch type of performance vehicle. On these bumps, of course, you can feel the bumps. It's a pretty stiff chassis. they didn't really cut any corners to give you a true V Blackwing. They didn't just give you a sporty looking car and kind of do it by cutting corners. They truly gave you a performance car at the end of the day. And I really like how Cadillac did it. You get a lot of the information you need while you're doing performance things up on this gauge cluster. And it is super responsive. 10 speeds is kind of a lot. I would prefer a 7 or 8 to be honest. However, it does shift super snappy, and as long as you're keeping it under like 7th, it's pretty good. I like how it kicks you a little bit. The front end kind of is up in the air a little bit when you floor it as well. And the V button is great because now all I have to do is press it once and we're back into everything comfortable. Like, this is just now a basic, nice, normal Cadillac, and it really drives like that. The M3 is still more performance focused. It is definitely more hardcore, a step above in performance. But this, you know, if you spec them similarly, is a little bit cheaper. So it gives you a really good option if you're interested in a performance sedan and you do want to be able to tone it down more. This car can tone down more than M3, and it really, at the end of the day, can be just a normal Cadillac. And then when you are in the normal modes, it's an easy car to drive. The transmission, super smooth and effortless. You barely got to give it gas, you're up to speed. So it's a car that is just, it effortlessly does what you want it to do. It's just comfortable and smooth and really refined. There is a little bit of wind noise I'm noticing above 50 miles an hour. You can hear it a little bit. So while it still is based off of just their basic CT4, which is more of an entry-level car, I would say, for the Cadillac brand, there are some aspects like that. But overall, you know, it's not bad. There's no road noise or tire noise or anything. It's just a little bit of wind on the left and the right side there. But it's comfortable enough. You know, if you're buying this car, you can drive it like normal and just enjoy it like a normal car. I don't really have any complaints aside from just the drive modes and traction buttons doing the same things. This should just do traction and this should just do drive mode. I wish they didn't make it to where they can do the same thing. That's kind of dumb. This particular spec just has the fake leather all over on the dash and the doors. You can opt for the real leather, which is a pretty sweet option. But overall though, for the package you get, you really can't go wrong. And even when you are in automatic mode, you can still hit the gas and it takes off pretty good. Overall, can't really complain. Great car for the money, and I think if you're looking for a performance sedan and you don't want an M3 and you want to tone it down a little bit, this is the way to go. This is a fantastic runner-up. It gives you that better luxury vibe, a little bit better price point, and it certainly stands out with how sweet it looks, and it is truly a heck of a lot of fun. One tap of a button, go into manual mode. You can't not smile when you're in a Blackwing. These things are just so much fun. That is then it for this 2022 CT4-V Blackwing. Big shout out and thank you to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this awesome car for today's video. Check out the link to their website linked below. They have a ton of cars, 2022 model years. They have a ton of cars that are nearly brand new, so check them out. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.